Hey yo, what is going on guys, Cash and Clean here, and for today's video I just wanted to showcase some of the new character abilities that they're adding in the new patch, and keep in mind that these are subject to change, so I'm just going to talk about whatever they have in the patch notes. You can thank this guy in the video for suggesting this video, but I did have this video planned out, so either way, thank you to him for suggesting it. Now let's get on to the video. So if you haven't seen the last video that I made talking about the Lunar Lancer rework and just like the new update in general that they're adding for Trove, everything on the PTS, you can check out my last video, and that pretty much shows you the gameplay that I had with Lunar Lancer, so you can check out his new abilities. And there's a couple of new dungeons they added to Uber 10. I caught one of them. I caught that on the gameplay that I was doing, so you can check that out as well if you want to. Alright, so let's get on with the patch notes. So I will link this down in the description down below so you guys can check this out if you want to. So going over the first person, we got Pirate Captain, and it says here his basic attacks causes your minions to attack your target, as well as applying a debuff increasing damage done to it. So what that means is pretty much, you know, you have your turrets with your Pirate Captain, and pretty much if these things aggro, like, I don't know, say there's like different allies, I guess, or different things the bosses can spawn sometimes, and your turrets can sometimes, you know, target it, and you don't want that. So whatever you're shooting, those turrets will aggro it, which makes it so much better for Pirate Captain. And it says here that it applies, so I think the debuff thing makes it so you'll basically just do more damage theoretically here. So Pirate Captain overall will do more damage, his turrets will lock on to whatever you're shooting at, so overall I think that's just more damage, which you know, that's pretty good for Pirate Captain. He's a really good single target DPS character. So next up we got the Vanguard, and it says here that Fired Up and Force Flash now apply to up to 2 nearby allies when used. And if we just take a look at it, so Force Flash is here. It says pulse kinetic energy that damages nearby enemies while increasing movement speed and damage resistance. So if we use the ability, I think this applies to nearby allies. If you're farming with friends and whatnot, or just there's people around you, you can use that, and I think they get the buff as well. I think that's how it works. I'm not 100% sure. It's not really clear in the patch notes, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about with Vanguard. All right, so next up we got the Ice Age over here, and Ice Age has 2 different buffs that they're adding maybe in the future update. So the first one is the Big Chill summons an ice crash at the player's location. So what that means is, so you know what this thing is. This is the icicle crash. It's a little bit different because of my costume. So that right there, when you use your ultimate, so my M5 for example, the Big Chill, that will cause an icicle to drop, and it causes the ground to freeze, and the terrain, not the whole terrain, but just like this area here will change into ice. So I think that's a pretty cool change. I'm not really one to use that ability as much, especially since you can't really use that ability against bosses. I mean, I guess you can now, because I don't really know if the ice will do anything to the bosses, but it might mess up your friends because they might like move a little bit weirdly. And going over to the second thing, the first one kind of ties in with the second one, and it is pretty helpful, but like either way, I don't know if I'll end up using it. I might. But what it says here is while you're on ice, so like let's just say you do this and the ground around you changes to ice, you can combo it with this. So while you're on ice with Ice Age, you gain additional crit hit chance and critical damage. So it's not guaranteed, you have a chance of dealing more damage essentially. So I think that's pretty cool. I don't think it's going to be a huge change, or it could be big. I haven't really tested it out, to be honest with you, but overall I think it's pretty cool. Great addition to Ice Age. Alright, so next up we got the Boomeranger, and it says here the Urn triggers an additional effect, and what that is pretty much this will trigger a different effect. I don't really know what it exactly does. That's the only change. The patch notes aren't really specific here, so it just says that there's going to be an additional effect. I'm assuming you're going to do more damage. I have no idea, but I'm still not really going to use Boomeranger, so let's go on to the next character. Alright, so next up we got the Tomb Raiser. Now for Tomb Raiser, if you know about the minions here, you have a chance when you use your M2 ability. I don't know what it is on console, but the ability you got down here, whenever you use that, it says here that you have a chance of spawning a larger skeletal is what these things are called. So you'll have a larger I guess ally, minion, whatever you want to call it, over here, and whenever that thing dies, it'll turn into little ones. So I think that's pretty cool, but it's like a chance for it to happen. I can't really get it to happen, but you're gonna have to trust me. If you don't trust me, you can check out the patch notes. So the next one would be Lunar Lancer, but you can check out my previous video if you want to check him out and what his new abilities and whatnot do. But moving on to the Dino Tamer, it says here that Dino Buddy now spawns 2 minions instead of 1. So I'm assuming it's talking about... I just have to wait for my cooldowns, but pretty much when you throw down an ally, it'll sometimes give you 2, or I don't even know, minions, I guess, or I don't know what to call them. When you throw down a friend, let's just say that. If you throw down a friend, you have a chance of getting 2. Alright, so moving on to the Fate Trickster. This one's actually kind of interesting. If you ever played Call of Duty or any zombies games for Call of Duty, if you know of double tap, this is pretty much what Fate Trickster is. It doesn't happen like consistently, like all the time, but it says here that Ego Blast, which, you know, is your attack, now allows for 2 hits within 2 seconds instead of just 1. So pretty much like double tap in a way. But I don't know, I think that's kind of cool, but I don't think I'll use Fate Trickster just because of that, but I think it is a pretty cool feature. Alright, so lastly we got the Gunslinger here, and it says here that when using run and gun, so pretty much whenever you're using your ultimate, you're going to be getting increased damage, more attack speed, but it greatly reduces your movement speed, which is totally okay, because before this was it was like a bit opposite in a way. So when you used your ultimate, your attack speed would go down, but now it's a lot faster and your movement speed goes down. So I think this is really good for Gunslinger. He's probably going to do a lot more damage to single target DPS. He'll be a really high single target DPS character. I don't think he's going to pass Chloro. Chloro is still like insanely good, but I don't know. Gunslinger seems pretty good with this ability. But yeah, those are all the characters. Like I said, if you want to check this out, I will leave the link for this patch notes stuff in the description down below, so you can check that out. And on that note, I do appreciate every one of you guys. I've been receiving a lot of overwhelming support, and our channel has been growing, so I do appreciate all of that a lot, so thank you guys. But on that note, subscribe if you are new, drop a like, and if you want to see something Trove related, drop something down in the comments down below, and you could be responsible for the next video. And on that note, I will see you all later.